Cameroon Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanga Nji, has now officially reacted to the death of Detained Ekane. Detained Ekane, the president of Manidem political party, who died in detention, arrested within the context of the presidential election, accused by government of plotting an insurrection and trying to destabilize the government of President Paul Biya. Detained Ekane death in detention has actually raised several questions, and the government is now on an urge, being called to investigate and being called to render an account by some Western bodies, European Union, and some nations have actually raised an alarm that an investigation be carried out and be released to the public. However, Minister Paul Atanga Nji has actually doubled down on his arrest, stating that the arrest of Detained Ekane is justified, investigation was done, and he was arrested within the context of the law, and that as far as the context of the law is concerned, being ill does not exemplify or does not make you not to be arrested and does not give you a green light to commit crime. According to the interview granted on the Presidency of the Republic channel, remember that Cameroon Presidency of the Republic has a channel dedicated on their issues. So Paul Atanga Nji was actually speaking on this television channel. He stated that when Detained Ekane was sick, he sent an SOS message, an emergency message, where he was sick, and that first Detained Ekane is not his friend and has never been his friend. He's just what we call an acquaintance, political acquaintance. He said that when Detained Ekane was sick, he was informed, and that President Paul Biya, who is a humanist, President Paul Biya, who is a grand humanist, who actually valued the sacredness of life, alongside Madame Chantal Biya, who is a humanist, have always told his government officials that they should have a touch of compassion. And so, Mr. Paul Atanga Nji said when that moment came, he actually visited Detained Ekane when Detained Ekane was in the hospital, and that he paid money for his treatment, because at the time his treatment has not been paid. That he paid money for his treatment, and he actually prayed for him in the hospital. That 1 year after, he told Mr. Detained Ekane that this time that God has actually given you the grace to actually be up, you should know that you are always being on the wrong side of history. He said he told Detained Ekane not to be on the wrong side of history. That all through Detained Ekane political career, that Detained Ekane has been on the wrong side of history, and that he cautioned him not to be on the wrong side of history, and that he was surprised to see that Detained Ekane had to give his visa and had to allow Professor Maurice Kamto to use his party to contest against President Paul Biya. And that when that moment came, he discovered when he was going through documents to see that Detained Ekane was not the person that had the power to actually delegate Professor Maurice Kamto to contest against President Paul Biya. And that whatever happened to Detained Ekane regarding the circumstances under which he was arrested, according to Minister Paul Atanga Nji, that it was lawful, and that Detained Ekane actually declared that Tchiroma has won the election is an insurrection, that the polls closed at 6 p.m. and that by 8 p.m. Detained Ekane had actually declared that Tchiroma won the election, alongside with Mr. Njuken Chamani, under their Union for Change. He further stated that they would have arrested Detained Ekane that same day, but because they were so benevolent, they allowed the process to go through. He went further to state that Detained Ekane and Njuken Chamani actually had called youths and actually gave them tramadol, that drugs is illegal. That drugs is illegal. That this was based on an investigation carried out by relevant security agencies. That these two leaders, opposition leaders, had called, according to Mr. Paul Atanga Nji, had called youth and have given youth tramadol, which tramadol is illegal, to destabilize the nation until Tchiroma takes power. And that people should not get carried away. That Anisene Ekane is no hero, is not a martyr, that only Jesus Christ died for our sin. And that he had warned Anisene Ekane not to be on the wrong side, that ever all through his political life has been on the wrong side of history. He was talking in French. I'll play you the excerpt. I've given you a summary for those who don't understand French of what he said. I don't have time to translate, but I've given you a rough summary. At the end of the day, you see this world, we will all die. Nobody will live forever. Nobody will live forever. Nobody. Whatever we are doing, we should know that there will come a time when we will all render an account. There is God. We may seem like there is no God, but there is God. Even if there is no God, for those who don't believe, there is karma. There is a law of reciprocity. Whatever you give is what you come. Okay? We have heard that. I want you to watch this video.
Beaucoup d'amalgame au sujet de M. Ekane Anissé. Les gens disent que c'était mon ami. C'est une connaissance, je le connais. Il y a d'autres qui ont dit que ce n'était pas notre ami, mais en tant que tutelle politique, quand il venait ici pour les affaires de Manidem, bon, ma porte était ouverte, je le recevais. Alors je le savais malade. Il y a 1 an, il était gravement malade. Il a envoyé un message SOS à M. le ministre de l'AT. Je suis au CHU. Je suis reparti là-bas le voir 1 semaine après. Et quand j'ai discuté avec lui, j'ai dit, Anissé, je vous dis une chose. Votre âge ne vous permet plus de faire le désordre. J'ai dit, je vais vous parler maintenant comme une connaissance. Vous avez fait beaucoup de désordre politique dans votre vie. Maintenant, j'espère que si Dieu vous donne la chance de vous mettre debout, vous allez éviter le désordre. Voilà le message que je donne à Anisene Ekane. J'ai dit, vous avez fait beaucoup de désordre politique. Vous avez...
Vous dites il y a à peu près 1 an.
Il y a à peu près 1 an, 2 mois. Il était au CHU. Et je suis allé le voir. Je l'ai accompagné, j'ai accordé une aide, mon assistance, mais j'ai tenu à lui dire la vérité. Alors, maintenant, il est sorti de l'hôpital. Il est venu me dire merci pour l'aide. Après, silence radio. Je découvre Anissé le jour où il dit qu'il a donné l'aval à Maurice Kamto pour les élections présidentielles. Bien évidemment, je vais dans les archives, je trouve que il n'avait pas le droit de le faire. Et je fais le rapport acquis de droit et j'explique à Edekam que non, il n'est pas... Bon, ça, son choix politique, c'est tout à fait normal. Mais ce que je n'accepte pas, qu'on parle d'un héros, martyr, non, c'est pas correct. Les gendarmes ont fait leur travail. Il a été bien encadré à l'hôpital. Je vous dis, il a posé un acte vraiment d'une extrême gravité. L'élection présidentielle se déroule le 12 octobre. On ferme les bureaux de vote à 18h. À 20h, Ekane Anissé et Nji signent un communiqué et ils proclament ouvertement que Issa Tchiroma a gagné les élections. Le document circule. Et il passe à la radio le lendemain, il dit, j'appelle l'armée, la police, la gendarmerie, les autorités administratives de confirmer la victoire de Tchiroma. On aurait dû l'interpeller ce jour-là. Parce que c'était une preuve tangible qu'il fait obstruction au processus électoral. Il n'a pas interpellé, il n'a pas été interpellé. Il était libre de ses mouvements. Par la suite, ils ont fait une réunion. Ils ont décidé d'acheter le tramadol et la drogue pour donner aux enfants. Et dans cette logique, ils ont signé un communiqué qu'il y aura l'insurrection jusqu'à ce que Issa Tchiroma récupère une prétendue victoire. Donc, il faudrait qu'on